go from it's live.
The Green Bay Packers fall 17-26 to the New Orleans Saints in an expected outcome of the first game, second game. How many games has it been without Aaron Rodgers? Brett Hundley completing 12 out of 25 for 87 yards, no touchdowns. Welcome to All Time Quarterback. I'm Jack Tomzak. That is Aaron Pankey.
Hello.
And John Vitamus.
Top of the afternoon to you, or evening, or wherever you may be listening to.
To remind folks, Aaron used to coach football. John still watches football, and I don't. All right.
Not at all today?
I tried. And for those of you watching on video, I am in my my kids' fort that my father-in-law built for them with the Hello Kitty.
Fantastic.
The Hello Kitty sheets and everything. Yes. This might be the best spot ever. So I can stick here. I posted a picture on our Facebook page at All Time Quarterback ATQB Podcast on Facebook of how I watched the game today. Living in Wisconsin, you guys take for granted that you can watch the Packers when the Packers are on. As a Minnesotan, I can't do that. The game was on Fox today, correct?
It was.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings played at noon, and the game was carried on CBS. So the local Fox affiliate at noon carried something that wasn't football. I don't know how they decide this, but there was a perfectly good game being played in Green Bay and perfectly good television equipment here in Minnesota, and the two didn't meet up. So I watched it.
That's tried such a little box.
Yeah. Oh, and you see, watching it on YouTube on my phone, and the little green rectangle, that's the football game. It's about the size of your pinky nail.
It's not even the size. On my laptop, that's the size of my pinky nail. It can't be bigger than that. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
So, it's either, if you live in Minnesota, it's either get the NFL Sunday ticket thing, which I won't do, or go to a bar, which is fine, but it's like 3 hours of just sitting there.
Well, I appreciate your dedication to watching all 3 hours of football on that little pinky nail.
Oh no, screen. I didn't. I caught a couple plays here and there, and I said, "Screw this!" And I worked on a project in my garage.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad you watched the game today. That was good. That was progress. Yeah,
I watched. Given the technological roadblocks I faced, I still watched about as much as I normally do.
Credit for time served.
Thank you.
Good job.
So, how did our new quarterback do? When I got to the game, I finally watched something. It was Saints were down 7. It was 7-0 first quarter, and I see that we scored that on a running play.
We did.
John, your thoughts?
Sure. It was a 46-yard run from Aaron Jones, and actually the first drive was pretty much all Aaron Jones up the middle. And I thought it was a good way to start the game. Nice way to get your quarterback's feet wet, get him used to taking snaps in live game action. And I think that has to be their offense going forward. I mean, they averaged 7.5 yards a carry today as a team. So
that's not bad.
No. So you can say what you want about 12 or 25 for Brett Hundley, but maybe this has to just turn into a read option team.
So I was wondering real quick, Aaron, I want to limit the amount of time we spend talking about our high school football days. But there was a time our senior year where we're working on a pass, or it was when they junior year, they picked me, senior year for quarterback. And Coach Morgan, we were working on a pass play, and I said, "What are you doing? Should we just hand the ball off?" He said, "If you're just going to hand the ball off, we could have picked anybody. We're going to throw the ball." And as we know now, that was a huge mistake. So
as we know now, they just picked anybody.
Right. So Brett Hundley better be a very good ball hander offer.
Well, I wondered in the game. Okay, so they went with Aaron Jones. They started him. That was kind of a surprise start over Ty Montgomery, and I was wondering if they did that because Hundley and him probably had a bigger relationship, running second team or third team plays, and their playbook may have been just a little bit different of what they can do, and they just didn't have time to completely integrate Montgomery into that scheme. And I think maybe that's what they're going to do over the bye week.
His first name is Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, yep. 17 carries, 131 yards, 7.7 yards, averaging and 1 touchdown.
Hey. Yeah, I mean, I think there still has to be packages that Jones and Montgomery are on the field at the same time. And I think that the Packers would do themselves a favor over the bye week if they looked at what Andy Reid and the Chiefs do.
They're getting another one?
Second, yes.
That's crazy.
And had they known that Aaron Rodgers was going to get hurt, they would have studied a lot of this during the first bye week that they had.
Right.
They didn't have that chance. They didn't have that. Yeah. But if they look at what Andy Reid and the Chiefs do with their backfield and a lot of the, not necessarily trick plays, but a lot of the ball handling, a lot of the jet sweeps, there's so many ways to get different players the ball. And I think that may have to be what Brett Hundley does, because I think Brett Hundley, if memory...
Did you just get our starting quarterback's name wrong?
Did I say Brett Hundley? I thought I said Brett Hundley.
Henley, I think you said Henley the first time.
Oh, sorry. I thought.
Man.
Yeah, I know his name.
I'm with you, Brent.
He's 3 carries for 44 yards. So if you've got a quarterback that can run the ball, use that. And at the same time, you need to limit what he needs to do in the passing game. Don't expect him to be able to look at 5 receivers. If you want to make him, let him look at 1, maybe 2. If he doesn't have it, tuck it and run. Get yardage. Move the ball.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The scope of what he can do probably fits better with Aaron Jones, in the fact that Jones maybe isn't going to be the pass blocker that they're used to with Montgomery, because they ran a lot of 2 tight end sets. He's not going to be that passing threat, even though he was the leader in receptions today. In the game. But they put a lot of effort into turning Montgomery into switching him from receiver to running back. They put a lot of resources into that. And then because your starting quarterback goes down, to just ignore all that work put into that, I think it's just a one-game thing. I can't see them going away from that too much. But I do think it's not going to be that 70-30 split anymore. It's probably going to be that 50-50 split.
Can I ask a naive question?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Depends.
Did the Packers make a mistake by and we said at the beginning of this season, and they've probably done it every year, and they did it every year with Brett Favre, putting all their eggs in the quarterback basket and not having, not that Hundley is bad. I don't think we've seen enough to know he's bad, but if you don't have a backup plan for your star player getting hurt, you expect if he gets hurt, the season's over. Whereas didn't Brady got hurt a couple years ago, and I can't remember the name of the dude who stepped in, but they did just fine. And it's a flaw in how they look at football by not having a more ready to hop in the game backup.
That's one coach and one.
Yeah, the best coach.
Yeah.
And the best team. Yes. So maybe we should do what they do.
Yeah. So pick a different one. I mean, the Browns continue to do that. They did it again. They switched their quarterback in the game, and the backup didn't do any better, or slightly better. I think that Montgomery is a Aaron Rodgers type running back. Aaron Jones fits more of that backup quarterback at this point. Smaller scope of playbook. It's gonna work moving forward. I think the defense stepped up and played a heck of a game, even though they did give up 100 yards rushing and a 300-yard passer. I mean, but they played fairly well against a good coach, good offense, good quarterback, and did the right things. They had 2 turnovers.
Yeah, I'm going to say cautiously optimistic is how I would describe today's game, because Aaron, you're right. The defense forced 2 turnovers on the first 2 drives that the Saints had the ball. If Aaron Rodgers is starting this game, it's probably 21-0 by the time we get to the second quarter. So you're going to have, the defense played well enough to win a football game with a quarterback that wasn't making his first professional start. They forced 2 turnovers, and they were on the field for almost 40 minutes of that game. To say that they only gave up 26 points? Is that what they were?
Yeah.
Yeah, 26 points. They were on the field for almost 40 minutes. That is not a horrible defensive outing. I was pretty pleased with that outing. But yeah, they're going to have to find a way, and I think they're going to need to keep their defense off the field, which leads me back into Brett Hundley running the football a little bit more.
That's the only other option is the offense at that point. Right. I know I've been away from the game for quite some time, but I remember that. Unless they just do special teams.
But the only interception that Brett Hundley threw was on the last drive of the game when they were down by 2 possessions. So it's not like he was shooting he wasn't shooting the team in the foot by being out there. He just wasn't moving the ball consistently.
Well, you could tell that the timing was off with all of the receivers. I mean, you could just either he held it too long and didn't have the arm strength, or he threw it too early. I mean, you could see they just weren't quite on the same page. And hopefully the bye week can clear some more of
another one.
And are they going to get 3
again? Not. I don't know. None of us have been. You guys ever been to an NFL team practice? I've not.
I can't say that I have.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't it make sense to work the backup in during practice with the A team? Work on that timing. Do they?
Limited snaps.
Yeah, they used to, but now that with the limited practice schedule.
Yeah, it's
and
changed.
Especially when you got a guy. How much practice do the franchise quarterbacks need? How many reps with the starting offense does Aaron Rodgers need? Maybe they should give more of that to the backup. I suppose every year that the backup doesn't get hurt, you're going to look at that as waste, or the starter doesn't get hurt. You look at it as wasted time.
Rodgers needs all those snaps. I mean, they got to get. I mean,
you're installing new plays every week, so it's not like the starter is running the same plays every week in practice.
Okay.
Getting back to the defense, you noticed in the game, even it took the Saints. I mean, the Saints knew that the Packers had a good pass rush, as you know. That they ran a lot of screens early on, trying to slow that pass rush up. And again, I can't say enough good things about how well the defense played against Drew Brees in that situation. It's just some of the corners came back and played real nice. It was good to see Josh Jones out there.
Blake Martinez had a great game. Was 16, 17 tackles.
Kevin King was out there. He was playing a great game too. It looked good. I mean, Alvin Kamara was tough. And then, once the Saints kind of got things under control, they were able to run the ball, and Packers just couldn't stop those enough.
Well, that's good news, though, right? Having a decent enough defense when your offense is not firing on all cylinders, do we think that can make up for the loss of Aaron Rodgers and keep the Packers in the playoff hunt until Aaron Rodgers returns?
Well, does anybody think he's coming back this year?
I'm not a doctor.
No, I'm not licensed to practice medicine in this state.
I heard a report this morning that doctors have said that he may be able to start throwing in 6 weeks.
So and he's definitely out 8 weeks because of
being on injured reserve. Yep. So if he starts throwing in 6 weeks, 8, and comes back in 8, That's not out of the realm of possibility if they can keep the ship from sinking before then. I mean, obviously, if they're out of contention, there's no reason to put them back in there. But I mean, if they're
old time's sake, what about old time's sake? That's a reason.
I think you have to look at what the rest of the league is doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What are the good teams right now in the NFC? I mean, the Rams,
Philadelphia,
the Saints, Philadelphia, and the Seahawks and Minnesota. They have the best record, but I mean, do you really think the Rams are that good? I mean, do you really think Seattle's going to end up winning that division? I mean, is Philadelphia going to win that division? I mean, there's a lot can happen in the next few weeks.
Sure, absolutely.
And the way that quarterbacks are going down, I mean, guys are getting hurt. We lost Cutler.
Yeah, but we're talking about quarterbacks, Aaron.
Well, yeah, but the quarterbacks in the league, more and more of them are getting hurt.
That was a knock on Jay Cutler's masculinity and ability to play football. I know he's a quarterback. Sorry.
That was
for what team?
Poorly.
The Dolphins.
That was a quiz question.
Yeah, and I passed.
Good job. Good job.
Me.
NFL fan you are.
They're out of Chicago, right?
Yep. Good job. You get to add that to the list of 5 current NFL starting quarterbacks,
But if
it's good, but one of the ones that used to play that I knew starts to play again.
But if they can run the ball and play defense, and they have to maybe change the way that they attack teams and approach the rest of the season, and if Rodgers can come back at the end, I mean, there's outside shot. I mean, I think as the season goes, we'll sort of make the decision on if he'll come back or not. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And actually, while we're talking about this, let me bring up their schedule really quick just to see what it looks like after the bye.
Is it 8? I'm looking at it right now as well. Is it 8 weeks? 8 weeks or 8 games?
Weeks.
He has to be out.
Weeks.
So like the bye week that counts?
Yes.
Yep.
So the second bye week. My math hasn't come back. If he were to come back December 10th against the Browns, Panthers, Vikings, Lions to close out the season.
I think the Panthers is what they were thinking from the initial report.
Right, but who do they play? Like, how many winnable games do they have in between now and then? Winnable
Lions,
with Brett Hundley.
Lions, Bears, Ravens, Steelers, Buccaneers, Browns. I don't know.
Browns,
the Lions
Bears, maybe
suck. Especially the Bears game.
Yeah, Bears, Browns games, I'd say.
Throwing that, the records are out the window. So
Baltimore, perhaps.
Yeah, Baltimore doesn't have any receivers anymore.
No, they don't.
They should run the ball then.
They're not really good at that either.
They don't have that either. That guy
should punt. They should punt a lot. So it'll come down to at the end-ish, whatever Aaron Rodgers can come back. If there's a chance that the Packers can continue after the regular season, they'll play him. If they're out of the hunt, they won't. He says with a question mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If they're 4 games out with 3 to play, there's absolutely no reason to bring them back.
Wait, let me write that down. Hang on.
Yeah. Famous words of wisdom.
They're 4-3 now, right?
Yep.
And if we could get to 6, let's see, what would it be? What would we be? 6 and 7 at that point? Just say we get 2 of those games.
Sure. Well,
right?
let's say if you say he's coming back at Carolina, basically the goal is to get to 10.
That's
10
enough.
wins almost guarantees you a playoff spot. So if they're 4-3 now, can they win 6 out of the next 9 games?
9 games.
9 times.
That's right.
And let's say he comes back against Carolina and they win the last 3. Are you going to win
the last
3 of
3?
those games?
Who's
Carolina, at
Panthers,
Carolina,
Vikings,
home
Lions.
to Minnesota, at Detroit.
I think you look at
We don't know. Big secret.
We don't know. It's fine.
3 guys who don't analyze football for a living don't know, and neither do the people who do analyze football for a living.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 9-7. They're making the playoffs.
I'm going to say 7-9, and they're not, because that means they're not going to bring Aaron back.
I'm going to say it comes down to the last game of the season in Detroit, and Aaron Rodgers will be on the sidelines in a wheelchair, covered with a blanket. He's not going to play until the last drive when they think all hope is lost. Out of the chair he comes, onto the field. The victory, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Jesus. Did you turn that into Disney yet?
Yeah. I
Good for you, buddy.
I'm so proud of you. I've sent it in several different ways.
Proud of you.
Yeah. Spent a lot of money on FedEx with that plot.
And here I thought all your football knowledge would go for waste.
No, it's going to be a very poorly made movie at some point. Yes.
So
very
proud of you.
Travel to Seattle the next week and get blown out.
Right. There's that.
Only after being up by 24.
Yeah.
You don't want to do loser math, which is, other people, their guys could get hurt too. And if everybody sucks, we've got a shot. But it's hard not to when the reason your team is good and has a broken collarbone.
Yeah, if that's the only hope you have to cling to, that's what we got.
You cling to it.
So besides the D line that played well, and Blake Martinez, what other bright spots do you see, or what should we be looking for coming out of the bye? Who do we got lined up, and what are we expecting here?
I was actually pretty pleased with the way the offensive line played. Yeah, that's why I started talking. I was actually pretty pleased with the offensive line play today. They only gave up 1 sack today, and they cranked out 181 yards rushing. So, I thought they played pretty well today.
Anybody back on that line who was hurt and now isn't?
As far as I can tell, the only offensive lineman that didn't play was Lane Taylor, who would have been a starter anyway. Bakhtiari started, Balaga started. So coming out of the bye week,
there was another guy that got injured for the line. Did you see that the line coach was injured?
Oh, I did see that.
The line coach got hurt his knee, and he was on the bench.
And if that really isn't a microcosm of what has happened to this team, I don't know what would be.
Well, which one of you brought it up at the beginning that the Packers seem cursed for injuries? Was that you, Aaron? And they need to look at how they're doing things because it seems to be that they're getting hurt more than other teams?
I was thinking that until I saw all the other injuries happening across the league in probably the past 2 weeks, and thought, maybe it's just football and guys are going at high rates of speed into each other.
I feel like that's how I thought at the beginning, but now that apparently even the offensive line coach is getting hurt, maybe we are cursed.
Maybe he was just standing too close to the action.
I think that's what happened. He got hit.
Yeah.
You got to think as a football coach. You got to have your head at a swivel. There's giants running around you. Pay attention.
Now, were they on offense when that happened? Was he actually trying? Should he have been watching the offensive line while this play was coming right at him? Or was he talking to his offensive line on the sidelines with his back to the field?
We'll have to get the 11 all-22 film, 11 on 11. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Can't believe he didn't.
Okay.
What?
Who's on the schedule after the bye?
Detroit coming out of the bye.
Detroit.
We host Detroit on, I believe that is Monday night. And then turn around right away and go to Chicago the next Sunday.
You skipped a step. Throw the records out the window between the Lions and the Bears game.
Now,
probably
clearly,
on that Wednesday.
Clearly, by saying we go to Chicago, we had discussed earlier, that's what you do when you go to Chicago.
I'm being a redundant piece of crap, and I apologize.
You do that on the way to Chicago. You open up the bus window. You throw the records out.
Are the Lions still a joke, or are they decent? Is that a team that, not that it matters what we think or whether or not we as fans take them seriously, but are the Lions a real football team?
No offense taken. None at all. Yeah, I mean, their offense is still legit. Their defense has gotten better.
Scott Kramer's their quarterback, right?
Scott Kramer. Did you just combine like 3 different quarterbacks
that all played for the Lions and the Bears?
Yep. No. Yep.
Yeah, who was it? Eric Kramer and Scott Mitchell?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the Lions will be favored in the matchup, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know who they play next week, so I don't know what kind of game they're going to be coming off of, but I would think that they would be a slight favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Not to divert this conversation into more depressing talk than the Packers' future without Aaron Rodgers, but did you know that Eric Kramer tried to kill himself in 2015?
Was he still playing football at the time?
No, former Lions quarterback Eric Kramer shot himself in the head. And every Lions quarterback, he missed.
Nope, I can't do it. Can't do it.
I'll do it. Man, that's the one time you want to throw an interception, though. Man. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
Oh, no.
Never do that. Hit or don't shoot, man. Oof. So it could be worse for the Packers.
Yeah.
You know.
So who's excited to see Joe Callahan coming out of the bye?
I don't know who that is.
That's the current backup quarterback for the Packers.
The future does not look good for you, Joe. Don't miss. Wait, he's our quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's the backup to Brett Hundley.
Oh, buddy.
I'm
just glad I didn't get rid of my Don Majkowski jersey. Suddenly in style, the front part of it is.
Did you use masking tape or duct tape to change the name in the back? Or
it's for a jacket, Vinny. It's a collector's item. I'm not going to ruin it for Hundley. Hempley? Don Henley? I don't know. No, thank you. I just wear a windbreaker.
With a big number 7.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Magic Man. All right, that's all I got for this week because, of course, I didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot to watch after.
Yeah.
But I like this show is good. You guys are clearly miserable, but I enjoy it because I don't have to watch the game. You guys just tell me what happened.
I watch as much of the game as I can while I'm working most of the time.
I watch
still more than
almost every play.
Aaron, what did your boy say today? What did Vince, the namesake?
Well, we didn't have our Packer gear on right away, and then he put on his Aaron Rodgers jersey, and he said, Daddy, you can't put your jersey on because he'll get hurt again. And I said, well, he's already hurt once.
What do you say? What can I do? He's already hurt. It's over. It's over.
I'll have to wear
another beer.
Tell me what to wear, son.
Yeah. The fate of the Green Bay Packers hangs on what a child tells his father to wear. What a sport. Any given Sunday, I tell you.
We're severely missing out on content by mistiming when we record this podcast, then.
All right. So we practice tackling after that.
That's fun.
Yeah. Nice.
You tell the boy to hit him low, wrap up.
Yeah, and then we did some fumble drills.
I could teach that.
No, not how to fumble.
No. Fumble recovery drills.
Don't do that. You might get hurt. Just back away. Let the
professionals take it.
The ogres get in there and mush up their brains and arms. Pretty people stay on the outside.
Unless the ball pops straight up in the air, then you just grab it and run as fast as you can.
There's that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're looking ahead to the bye week and then the Lions.
Yeah. Maybe in the bye week we bring on another former high school player and talk a little High school sports.
Ooh, dangerous, but fun.
Who can we invite that we don't hate? I'd kind of already narrowed that down to you two.
Well, let's just think about it, and otherwise, yeah, we'll talk after the.
I think we should bring on somebody who was on the cheerleading squad our senior year, Viddy, and just ask them what it was like to cheer for a terrible team and never won a game.
What was it like begging people to stay in the stands for the third quarter?
Maybe we could Facebook questions out to people and then just read them off on the air.
That's a good idea.
That's those type of things.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That seems. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing.
I like that idea.
All right, like the page on Facebook, All Time Quarterback. Subscribe through at least iTunes for sure. Still working on Google Play. I clicked the right buttons. I did. I promise.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
And then YouTube.
And of course, YouTube. ATQB Podcast. There. All right, I'm Jack Tom Zach. That's Aaron Pankey and John Vitamus.
Have a great week.
Have a great night.